You know, these people, they have this sick obsession with us. You know, with Chud the Builder right now, he's sitting down in jail because he thought he can walk around society and go and just walk up to black people and say the N-word and all of that. And you know how that story ended with him. Well, ever since he did that, some of his people in his community feel that that's a good idea to get online and saying certain things or even make mention that they are saying those words. Well, you have this white woman that, of course, we had to censor that word she's going to say repeatedly. But I want you to hear what she actually says, because it's quite funny at the same time, because she's really going to be talking more so about her people. Let's check that out.
Hi there. I like saying the N-word. Not to be edgy, it's a word. If there was an equivalent that's guttural and gets the reaction that it gets for whites, I would say it. I am a hater equally. I probably despise liberal white women more than any black person, by far. I like saying it because I'm trying to do the black community a favor. You want this word not to have power, but you give it so much. Now, I know a lot of you just don't really care. We need something to be angry about because the way our world is. It's unfair. But see, it's unfair to everyone because we have zero power to offer you. It might seem like it because that's what they have told you over and over again. Oh, but trust me, we do not. So it's a word. And y'all are out here doing just the most abhorrent to each other, but you're going to try to get mad at a word. No, I want you to direct that anger at the people who oppress all of us every single day. You know, like the people that are building data centers all over because you think it won't affect you. Oh, it will. This is absolutely the end of freedom. This is surveillance. They have made a lot of people, especially in the black community, dependent on the government so much. That's why I say it. I am an equal opportunity racist. If you are a trashy victim, sit there and collect a check from EBT and you're fine with that, well, then I got a problem with you. And that includes whites, blacks, Hispanic, Asian. And then the food that you're going to give you, it's going to be poisoned more so than it is now.
Lack of education in America in that particular community always amazes me. Now, here we go. Okay, you saying the N-word. And you say you do that to help black people. If you really want to help black people, you can advocate for reparations in the form of cash payments if you want to help black people. I'm just letting you know. That word doesn't pay a bill for any of us. That don't put clothes on anybody's back in the black community. They don't build a home for black people. It does nothing for black people. I'm just letting you know, okay? Now, you fast forward, you mentioned data centers, AI data centers. AI data centers only became a problem because they want to put it in your community. You see, you had nothing to say when they were putting petrochemical plants in our community and releasing toxic fumes, gas, and releasing potable water and everything else into the water supply in the black community. You didn't say anything about Cancer Alley that's affecting black people. You didn't say nothing about it. So all of a sudden, see, let me tell y'all something. It's only a problem if they doing it to them. If they're not doing anything to them, then everything's A-okay. We don't know what you're talking about. See, this is the thing. You didn't say nothing about Cancer Alley. You didn't say nothing about them poisoning the soil and everything else in the black community. And we don't care what they do with the data centers in your community. Talking about it's going to affect us. We've been affected ever since we got here. We've been affected from day one. We've been affected ever since we have got into any kind of interaction with you. We've been affected. And I'm talking about based on American history and also African history. Every time you have went somewhere, people have been affected. Not because they wanted to have an issue with you. No, because you started things with them because they was nice to you and wanted to be friendly with you historically. And you view friendliness and giving and all of that as a weakness that you can exploit and you could conquer people. You understand? Now, you also got some nerve to talk about EBT. Who was in the food bank lines? It wasn't FBA. Who's crying about losing their federal jobs and they can't afford food? The images wasn't a bunch of FBAs. And black Americans lost their job too. They did. But guess what? We know how to bounce back no matter what it is. Your community, on the other hand, ma'am, lose it, fall apart when your little precious system start falling apart around you. You can't listen, you want to talk about black folks, you need the system. We don't. Let me tell you something. They can take every entitlement program tomorrow. I promise you, black people will eat. I promise you, we will have a roof over our heads. You know why? Because we have made it in this country without anything. Those entitlement programs were created to benefit you. We just getting it as a byproduct. That was done to benefit your community. And the only reason you don't have free health care is because they don't want us to get it. That's why you're suffering in that area. Thing is, don't you realize by now your racism don't really amount to a hill of beans? How are you going to pay, once again, we go back to it. How are you going to pay for gas in your car with racism? Let's just keep it practical. How are you going, when you go to the grocery store and they tell you the price, $150 for about 7-8 items, go ahead and tell them the N word and see if that is going to pay that bill. What about your light bill? Call up the light company and give them and tell them racism, tell them the N word. Let's see if you go to zero balance. You're so invested in something that don't even pay you. Because it don't pay you. And the ones who getting paid, it don't last forever for them either. I'm just saying, a lot of you aren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, and you prove it every day. I don't care if you are a racist soul. That don't affect black people. We don't care. Because it's like this. You put your hands on us, and then it's going to be a problem. As long as you don't put your hands on us or nothing like that, you can feel however you want to feel. Listen, I have no problem with anybody not liking me or my community. I don't have a problem with that. Long as you keep your hands to yourself, long as you keep your hatred to yourself, I'm cool. Matter of fact, there's a lot of black people right now, even in 2026, that would even be cool with y'all having your own state. That those of you who feel that way can have your own state. There's a lot of black people that say that. There's also some black people that say it'd be cool for us to have our own state too. And that you couldn't come in and we couldn't go to yours. There's black people that say that. But I want y'all to notice, they don't never advocate for a state for them. They never say that. Listen, I'd be cool with you having a state. As a matter of fact, there are states that's 90+% white. That they can actually move there. It's hardly any of us there. If they won't give them a state, there are states in the United States that don't have hardly us in it. And instead of them saying, okay, well, we just want to be around our people, go do it. Go make your utopia. But they won't do it. It's just like them folks in South Africa too. Them white folks. They want to fight for Cape Town and Orania, but I'm like, well, what's wrong with Europe? I don't understand that mindset. You complain about black folks and everybody else in America, or the white people complain about the black folks in South Africa, and y'all got a homeland called Europe, and you don't want to be there. That is a weird dynamic to me. Very weird. But then I looked into this lady. This lady is actually sad because she's a failure in life. She's sitting up here selling herself online, trying to get people to buy her photos and all kind of video stuff she's doing when I looked her up. You that old and you still doing that? You didn't figure it out in life? Now, look, a young girl maybe can get away with some of that, but at your age, ma'am, at your age, I don't think you're making millions of dollars doing what you're doing. Because if you were, you probably wouldn't be talking about no racism. Because any person who's smart, who's selling themselves, they're not going to be they're not going to be a racist because, hey, they trying to get every dollar they can. But this woman is sad. She's sad. And the thing is, you were right. You are, but you said something that really stuck out. And I'm going to have to agree with you. When you said that y'all don't have no power, you're right. You really don't. You don't have no power. Who has the power is the billionaires. And the billionaires that control your politicians, that's the ones really with the power. And the reason why you're complaining about it is because, see, that's what happened. The millionaires and billionaires for a long time made a little deal with the poor whites. And they're like, look, We on the same team, right? We'll let you benefit from white supremacy too. You're not gonna have the money like us, but we'll let you benefit. But what the billionaires have said now, say, you know what? We sick of them. We look at them no different than black people. We don't need nothing from them. We got enough. Matter of fact, we're gonna extract from them the same thing we extract from black people. We're going to start oppressing them like we oppress black people. That's what we're going to start doing. And here's the thing. Because they're starting to start letting them know you're not going to be part of this system like you think you're going to be a part of it, because we're tired of you. Then they come to black people, oh, AI data centers and the food prices and the gas price. Like, man, I don't want to hear that BS. I don't want to hear it because you didn't care about it when it was me, and I don't care about it if it's you. Because we had an attitude, and that what do we say, ladies and gentlemen? Not my people, not my problem. That's really what it is right now. We're saying that because we're centering ourselves. Because when we were talking about it, nobody cared. Everybody say, shh, forget black people. Everybody had the not my people, not my problem attitude. So we just picked that up from y'all and the rest of these other groups. That's it. Don't tell, we don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it. Unless it's happening to something to a black man, black woman, black child. We don't want to know about it. Because we got too many issues in the black community that we need to solve. And we've been paying attention to everybody else's community who didn't even want our help. That's the thing. They didn't want our help. We were just doing this on some being moral and benevolent. And what did that get us in the end? Nowhere. So we need to be moral and benevolent within. You got a bleeding heart? There's a lot of black people that need help. You want to donate something? There's a lot of black people that need that. You want to volunteer your time for something? There's a lot of black people that need help with that too. There's nonprofits that want volunteers. There's all kind of people that want volunteers that can help out the black community. That's why our focus is supposed to be making sure black is good all the way around. From our kids' education to protecting black people to making sure black people get the skills they need, the skilled trades, making sure black people get, college degrees that's going to pay them good money. And also, hopefully we can encourage our other younger brothers and sisters to do the same thing so they can make good money. You know what I'm saying? We need a gang of nurses and doctors in the black community. We need that big time. We need a gang of farmers in our black community. We need a gang of people that's skilled trades, because you can't have a nation without the skilled trades. Our truck drivers who are black. Our brothers and sisters that know how to lay down a road. Let me tell you something. That is work. That is something that we need. We need brothers and sisters that know how to lay down a road, concrete road or asphalt, but preferably concrete. We need the brothers and sisters that know how to build a bridge. We need that. That's called nation building skills. We need the brothers and sisters that know how to operate the power grid. We got to have that. Or water sanitation. We need that in our community. We can't focus on all these other groups and what they got going on. They don't appreciate us and never appreciated us. The only thing they can appreciate is what they can get out of us. So my thing is with this lady here, ma'am, we don't care if you use the N-word. You say it in front of the wrong person, you may be leaking a little bit. You may. Just depends on who you say it to. But you're 100% right. You have no power. I agree. I will agree. There's nothing powerful about you. Your skin tone isn't saving yourself right now. So you surely couldn't do nothing for me or black people. Trust me, they know the privilege they have is not the same no more. They know. Oh, they know. But, if you look at the European history, it's always been that way. The elite and rich among them, like the kings and all different people, they couldn't stand the poor whites. They couldn't stand them. Why do you think they fled Europe? Because they way they were treating them over there. They fled Europe to come over here because they failed over there. And then they come over here, they really couldn't make it until we start building up everything. So that's just really what it is, brothers and sisters. That's all it is. That's why I don't hear nothing they got to say. You know, you fled Europe to come over here, and then you think you think you better? No, you're not better. Not whatsoever. But hey, if she wanted to be an anti-black racist, that's fine with me. That's fine. But does that turn into currency for you? Because matter of fact, if racism is paying you, you wouldn't be selling yourself online, especially at your age.